A McKinsey study reports that with currently demonstrated technologies, less than 5% of jobs can be fully automated. However, in about 60% of the occupations, more than one-third of the constituent tasks can be automated. About 15% of the global workforce, roughly 400 million workers, could be replaced by 2030. So what kinds of activities are most susceptible to automation? Physical activities in highly structured and predictable environment. For example, operating machinery and preparing fast food. Another example is data collection and processing. For example, mortgage origination, paralegal work, accounting, back office transaction processing. Activities that are less susceptible are jobs that involve managing people, applying expertise, and social interactions. For example, plumbers, gardeners, child carers, elderly carers. These two links are the reports from McKinsey. Let's take a look at this figure. On the right-hand side, we can see the occupation family and the corresponding number of employees. There are more than 20,000 of people who are working as office and administrative support. And there are more than 13,000 people are working in the area of sales and related, and so on. So when we take a look at this graph, the y-axis is the automation potential. 100% means that this job has a high chance to be automated, while 0% means that it cannot easily be automated. The x-axis represents the hourly wage. So we can take a look at the top. We can see that production, including packaging and filling machine operators and tenders, has a high chance to be replaced, and their hourly wage is $14, and there are roughly 372,000 people working in this area. So if we go down, we see that transportation and material moving has less chance to be automated. Their hourly wage is $13, and there are more than 2,000 people working in this area. So I will give you the chance to explore which occupations has high salary as well as low automation potential. And you can find the link in Moodle. Not only low-skilled, low-wage work could be automated. High-skilled, high-salary work also have a degree of automation potential. We can take a look at this figure. This is also a report from McKinsey. The y-axis is the ability to be automated, and the x-axis is also the hourly wage. It appears that the hourly wage rate alone is not a strong predictor of automatability, despite that there is some correlation between the two. So we see that the correlation is pretty weak. The R-square is just 0.19. Luckily, automation will not happen overnight, and it will likely take years. So there are many factors affecting absorption rate. They include technical feasibility, cost of development or deployment. If in certain industry they decided that employing human is cheaper than the cost of development, or to use AI, then they will employ human being. So the adoption will be hindered if the upfront cost is high. Another factor is the labor market dynamics. Labor supply and wages. If there are lots of labor supply and wage is low, then probably the industry would prefer human than machine. Automation might not make sense if AI is more costly than human labor. There may also be other benefits beyond labor substitution. For example, automation might improve quality, and it will be safer for human beings. Social norms and regulatory acceptance. For example, can the general public accept AI to be a judge? If not, then judge is not replaceable in this sense. And will the government grant a license to an AI lawyer? It seems like the future might sound bleak. But this process is central to technological progress. As technology improves, old jobs are destroyed. New jobs are also created. This process is called creative destruction. The real problem is not job loss, but how we effectively retrain and redeploy human talent and ensure smooth transactions without too much pain. History shows that technology has created large employment and sector shift, but it also creates new jobs. The x-axis is the timeline, and the y-axis is the share of total employment by sector in the United States. So at 1850, a large majority of people are working in agriculture, while in 2015, the percentage has been decreased by 55.9%. And we can also see that there are large increments in other sectors. For example, in the past 165 years, the people working in trade increased by 12.8%, healthcare 9.3%, education 9.9%. There are also some new industries such as telecommunications. And there are more new jobs in comparison with several decades ago. For example, IT professionals, because our societies become more dependent on computers. Engineers. The automation process requires more engineers. Educators. People will need to retrain themselves. Healthcare providers. Services with a human touch always required human. And other jobs that you have never thought of before. For example, would anyone expect YouTubers 15 years ago? What are your thoughts on some new jobs? So how should we prepare for the change? First, learn to work with AI. As most jobs will be partially automated, it will be essential to complement AI. Learn to self-educate. As AI becomes more and more powerful, we will need to pick up new skills and retrain ourselves. Improve soft skills. Humans will remain a social species and will always need a touch of humanity. Improve creativity. Tasks requiring creativity will be harder to be automated. Prepare for jobs that have a fundamental human preference. Athletes, musicians, artists, and healthcare providers. In the next video, we will talk about income distribution.